Hello and welcome back. It's been a while. Today we'll be looking at the Camaro Z28 from the year 1969. Right here at the front of the box we can see a very nice view of the product here. Up in the corner we have our Camaro Z28. Down below we have our Lego and our actual information. So this set is 18 plus, is set 01030404 and is 1,456 pieces. Over here in the other corner here, we have our Chevrolet logo. Up here at the front of the box, or the top of the box, I should say, we have our Lego, a side view of the Z28, another picture of the Chevrolet logo with our size being the wheel. Looking at the side of the box, kind of back it up here, we can see that there's a sort of top view of the vehicle along with our Lego and our Chevrolet. And at the back of the box, there we go. We can see that there's a few different things going on here. So we have our Lego and we have our size. So 35.5 centimeters or 13.5 centimeters in length, and our height being 9.5 centimeters or 3.5 inches. Now, this set you can actually customize in a few different ways. So we can see the back of the box here shows the vehicle with white stripes and no top. And then over here at the top corner, we have our Z28 in a red. This is like a picture of the actual car. And then down below, we can see that you can actually open the hood, the doors, the back there as well. And then this bottom sort of diagram shows that it is customizable. So there's 3 different stripe options you can choose. You can go with white, gray, or maroon. You can remove the top if you would like to have a convertible, and you can actually switch the plates and the headlights. So going into this, I will be having it as a maroon stripe with the cover on, but the option is up to you. Without further ado, we will take a look at the actual product and see what we got. Is the 1969 Chevrolet Z28 Camaro out and built. This set, I would have to say, is quite amazing. Just taking a look at it, we'll just kind of go around and then we'll kind of discuss what we got going on. Kind of just lift it up first. Very, very sleek, and interestingly enough, is actually mostly tiled off. Here we have the front of the vehicle, just our headlights, which we can switch out. Very, very just lots of detail. There's some stickers, as you can see, with our Z28 logo right there. And then there's a Camaro logo just right there. But just taking a quick look, like there's very little to no actual sort of stud pieces, at least with the version that I'm going with the cover on. You can see here's two right here, but as you can see, there's only these two and the ones up at the front. That's the only ones that I've really noticed, unless you want to look on the inside, which there's quite a few studs. But if you're just looking at this from the outside view, there's very little studs, which is very interesting for a Lego set. If you were to look at this quite quickly, you might think it not to be one, but I thought that was interesting. Up at the back here, we have a couple more stickers. We have our license plate of 1970 Michigan Chevy 69, and there's a Z28 logo there. But very, very nice vehicle. A couple more stickers with the Z28 logo there, Camaro, but very, very, very nice. Setting this down, we'll kind of go into more details as to what's going on. Here we are. So this is the version that I chose, maroon stripes with the cover on. We'll go into what we can do. So just starting off, sorry, we can actually move the wheels here. And it rolls very, very nice, I would have to say. Like, you can really roll this thing. Probably won't be, probably be more of a display piece, but just saying. So with the actual vehicle, what we could do is we can open the doors up, and you can see here there's actually kind of like a stopper right here, which is cool. And the inside of the door, there's like this little groove right here that will go into. Really, really nice sort of red interior. The wing mirrors actually are like these gray popsicle pieces, which are really, really cool. Right there. Those just pop on right there. You can actually, so you can open up both doors open. Gonna do that from the back view. Oh, there you go. And then the front view, kind of like that. But they make this sort of satisfying click as you kind of do it. I don't know if that's catching on the camera, but it's satisfying. And it's kind of like it doesn't really, like, it kind of locks in a way. It's interesting how it's done. You can also open up the back here. There's a little bit of interior space if you were to put something in there. It's just gray tile, kind of interesting. This is cool too. The actual piece here is kind of hard to pull out, but is a fire axe, which is really, really cool. You kind of just plop that in, and it adds a lot of detail to the actual vehicle. This doesn't come with a second plate that you can choose, the Panther plate, but I've gone with the Chevy 69. Just do a quick view on the underside, see what's going down. So you can see here, here's the kind of main sort of support section with our mostly gray, and then up here at the front of it, we can see there's a little bit going on with the Technic and the turning of the wheel, because in the interior you can actually use the steering wheel to turn it, so that's pretty cool. All the colors, kind of like yellows, reds, blues. There's this like I don't know, like a teal color that's kind of just hidden, and you just got your kind of main colors of whatever stripe you want: red, gray, or white. Another view here. So in order to actually look in here, I've noticed you can open it, but very slightly. You can see there, you can kind of see into the motor there. For whatever reason, the windshield actually blocks the hood from being opened. So we'll look at the interior of that. So to actually get into the interior of the vehicle, to actually look inside, all we gotta do is we gotta pop up the hood like so, and everything just comes with. So just before we get rid of this, Here we kind of have our rear view mirror right there with two little dice hanging down, which I thought was a really cool sort of detail. So with the hood piece gone, let us look at the actual interior of the engine. So this is quite cool. We kind of have this engine sort of build going on. I want to make sure I'm getting that on camera. So right here we kind of have the like main sort of thing. There's a 302 turbo pipe sticker inside. There's actually a caution sticker here as well. There's kind of like these pipes going in here. I don't know if that's catching. There you go. This pipe here, this kind of spinny piece there. It is cool because right here they kind of block it off with like these pieces, these bigger pieces, which is really cool. So the actual interior of the engine is quite a nice detail. Just closing it off for now. Let's look on the inside of the vehicle here. This comes with 4 seats. Here, we'll raise the camera up a little bit. There we go. So it comes with 4 seats. We got our driver's seat here and our front passenger seat. Those are different from our actual back seats here. You can actually fold these front seats forward, kind of as if like in real life how you would fold that forward so you can get into the back. So you can do that with both sides of the front seat. And you can see the back seat actually has this really cool magazine. Right here, our Model T magazine, a hot rod. Really cool sticker, I would have to say. So that just plops down on this piece here, just like so. Really cool detail. We have sort of 5 cents in our, or $5, who knows, in our little cubby right there. Just folding these back. Looking at the sort of driver's side, we can see that there's a stick shift right here. We can kind of flip it forward and back. The steering wheel is kind of like attached to this sort of thing, so you bring it back and it'll lift the hood and stuff like that. But the steering wheel, you can actually turn it and it will turn the wheel like so. It is kind of hard to do it with the hood, with the like the top piece kind of on. So really it's easier to do it like that if you don't have it in the convertible mode, but that's up to you. It is still a cool feature. Just behind the steering wheel there, we have a sticker for our speedometers. There's 2 different sort of speedometers there. And then there's also a sticker sort of right here, our radio. Just, you can also see here, this is kind of how they stop because the door will actually go further without this piece attached to here. So that is cool. But that is it for the interior. If you were to, I'll go over this more in detail when we're looking at the instructions, but there is sort of like when you're building, it will tell you the different sections, like much later on in the later bags. It'll tell you like there's the gray, white, or red stripes. When you're building the headlights, there's printed pieces that you can opt out for. For me, I chose to do the sort of clear headlights there, which I just thought looked better. And also sort of in the instructions, it'll tell you to skip until a certain page if you don't want to put the top on. And that kind of, it's, so in order to actually make it a convertible, you'd have to like do a whole different building assembly, which it's, I don't know. I guess it would have to be like that. So you'd have to know beforehand what you want to do, unless you want to keep those pieces sort of handy for whenever you want to change it. Especially when we get into the extra pieces, you'll notice there's quite a bit, which kind of sucks because that'll add to the price, but it comes with the sort of, if you wanted to customize it, so it's a necessary evil kind of deal. Just looking at the back again, forgot to mention that there's printed, these translucent red pieces are printed, which are really, really cool. They kind of have the silver sort of stripe through them, which makes it look nice. We have two exhaust pipes there. We can see that there's the Technic piece there. Overall, though, this is a really, really awesome set. Looking at the wheels, they are silvered out with a sort of like hubcap piece there, which is really, really cool. And we'll look at how many stickers are in here, but there's not too many. I forgot to mention that there is stickers here on the side of the front window, which aren't really necessary, honestly. They're on each side, these kind of like black bars. But whatever. Just putting this piece back on, we will take a look at it one more time, kind of together. Oops. Kind of together with the hood on. Just like so. Gotta say though, this is a very impressive set, and is quite weighty too. Without further ado, we'll look at the instructions and the sort of extra pieces, and then we'll jump into final thoughts. But man, I gotta say, this is quite impressive. Alright, here we have our instruction manual. Really cool sort of instruction manual. So just looking at the cover of it, here we have sort of half of the front half of the Camaro Z28. And when you finish the actual book, you get treated with the other half, the back half. You can kind of sort of, we'll see, just like that, kind of the full car. Not really well, but it is really, really cool seeing the front half and then the back half. So actually opening it up, let's see what we got. So we are greeted with the actual introduction of the Camaro and the sort of pony cars of the time. A couple different posters. Look at the car. Quite cool. Looking at this, I thought was really cool as well. So it goes through the actual first Camaro up until the 2016 sort of next generation. So there's been 6 generations, starting in 1967 to 1969. Then we get to our second generation, our third, fourth, fifth, and then our current in 2016 and onwards, as the year is 2023, and it's still the same. This just goes over how that is. Then we have our, what should we call it? Why can't I think of the name? Designer. Here we have our design team, how they kind of worked with Chevrolet to create the most sort of best looking model that they could. This just goes over your sort of how you want to go about choosing what you want for your actual vehicle, your different stripe colors, red, gray, or white, if you want it to be convertible, stuff like that. You can see the different headlight there as well. We'll actually look at that when we look at the extra pieces, as I have it off to the side. Here we have our tool here to remove sort of Lego bricks and how to do that. And then we have our 8 total bags, just looking at what we have. So the first 3 kind of make the actual frame of it. Then we start getting into the body of the vehicle, and then the last 2 bags, you can kind of choose your stripe color, which I guess you kind of choose right here, just right there at the end, or if you want it to be convertible. And you'll see in the actual instructions there is a sort of divide when you get to the final bag, which we'll look at. When you're going through, there is no progress bar, which I've noticed. Not the end of the world, but there was, if I can find it, as you go through the actual instructions, you will get quotes and inserts from the designer, just going over different sort of facts and stuff like that. And oh, here is one. Here we go. This says, the first prototype Camaro ever built, chassis number 10001, still exists and is listed in the National Historic Vehicle Register. So as you go through, there's quite a few of them. I'm only able to find one of them, but they were quite cool sort of little inserts as you go. Oh, here's another. The unveiling of the Chevrolet Camaro to the press in 1966 was the world's first large-scale teleconference with over 200 journalists joining from 14 U.S. cities. So it's quite cool just to like a little extra as you're kind of building. So as we get to the final sort of bags, I just want to look at this. So I guess before you build your seats, you get to choose what you want for your color. And here's where you choose your headlights. So you can do the with the translucent pieces here, or you can swap it out for your printed pieces. I just wanted to see, here we go. So you build this kind of the front sort of part of the vehicle, and then it tells you can choose between your gray, white, or red, and this is your first kind of choice to see what you want to do. Then just before you get to the bag 8, you choose what you want for your colors. So you kind of build the hood. Again, it tells you you can choose what you want. For the actual instruction manual, it's going with gray, but you can choose white or red as it comes with the pieces at the time that you need to swap it out. The interior will always be the red though. And then I believe this is just before we get to bag 8. I'll tell you, yeah. So you finish with bag 7, and then bag 8 tells you, so this is 191 for our page number. So if you wanted to build the kind of regular, or not regular, but like with the full kind of car, or if you wanted to do the convertible, it tells you to skip all the way to 207. But if you just want the top on, you go to the next page. So if you want the top, you go to the next page, and you kind of build throughout. You build the top of the car, and then you finish it out by 207. And then when you get to 207, so as you can see, just making sure whatever sort of stripe you chose, this is the back of the vehicle. And then you finish with the top of the actual top, and with the tires, you put it on, and you're done. And then when you flip over to the next page, I guess the other mirrors, but flip over to the next page, you notice that, if you wanted to go to 207, then you would build the actual sort of back of the vehicle. So for the convertible, you actually build in the back here with sort of like this couch sort of aesthetic going on. So as you notice, when we went into the actual vehicle, this is not in the actual back. We'll just look at that now. So when we remove this top here, our back is kind of this here, and there is no, like here we don't have this piece. So for that, we'll look at the actual extra pieces, and there's quite a bit, which is to be expected since there's quite a bit of choice in how we're doing, how you want to display your model. But it does sort of add to that cost, and that is something to note before going in. So I've kind of divided it a little bit. So here is kind of the pieces that you have if you don't put the top on. So these all pieces here are kind of just extra whatever, which is if you kind of build outside of your sets is fine, but for anyone that just doesn't, it adds to the cost. Then we have this pile here. This is sort of your pile that if you wanted to switch your colors. So we have our gray sort of pieces here, and then our white. So gray stripe, white stripe, and then red stripe, which we have on our Camaro Z28. So we have a bunch of sort of tile pieces, and they're all the same, just different color, depending on what you choose. I got a couple of the actual extra pieces, which we'll look at now. So this is all with our choice, our white stripe or gray stripe, or the red stripe would be here if you didn't choose the red stripe, Here is if you choose the convertible. So if you had the convertible, then there'd be different pieces for like that you would need to make the hood or the top of the vehicle, sorry. And then here is our actual extra pieces. There are tiny little pieces that are easy to lose. To note, there is printed pieces. Here's our sort of 5 cents here. There is a silver piece here, which is quite cool. Other than that, oh, there is a mic. This we use for the shifter, so you do get an extra mic, which is cool. But nothing too crazy. We'll look at the these are also about the choice. So if you wanted to, these are your other headlights that you can choose. These two are printed, whatever. And then we also have a different license plate. So in the book, it tells us that Panther was actually the code name for the Camaro before it came out. So we get a really cool Camaro sort of Panther code name. You can choose to swap for your license plate, which is cool. That is also extra pieces. So in total, we got 3 different piles. Actual extra pieces. Over here is our sort of what stripe you're choosing, white, gray, or red. And then if you're having the convertible or not, you'll have an extra pile for that. And if you wanted to change your sort of what you wanted to do, you're going to have to do a little bit of disassembling and make sure you have your pieces sort of in a place where you can find them and swap them out. Just something to note. So some final thoughts as we close out the video. I don't know if I mentioned at the start of the video, but this will cost you $209 in Canadian dollars and $149 in US dollars. Just as a final sort of thoughts on the actual product that we have, amazing. The set is amazing. If you're into cars, if you're into the Camaro brand, highly recommend. For me, this is sort of a dream car of mine. So this was really awesome to actually put together, build. The building process is really fun, and the choice of actually choosing kind of how you want to customize it is really awesome. What's cool too is a day or two after I started building this set, Lego had officially revealed the Corvette. There's a Lego Corvette coming. I'm not sure, I don't remember what year it is, or when it's coming out, but I saw it on Instagram there and I was like, oh, that's cool. So that I'll probably be taking a look at. Just as a sort of building sort of process, it took about a couple days just to put together, not kind of off and on. There's been a lot going on, so I haven't really been able to sit down to record or kind of anything like that. So that's why we've kind of missed a few uploads here and there. But back to it. We'll have a video today and then back to our regular schedule of Saturday and Tuesday. But as this set is amazing, I would highly recommend. A very great display piece, and it rolls quite well. There's a lot of display ability with this set on how you want to choose, and yeah, I can't highly praise this enough. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.